Welcome back to FNM TV. If you were following along from the first one, you got to see a very, very quick match go on, about 3-4 minutes in length, where Maclaren kicked Cawblade right in the teeth before it could set up or even Stoneforge out anything. Tony, yeah, it was brutal. I don't think any deck would have been able to contend with that, short of black having mainboard disfigures, and even then, that's rough. So we're gonna start this game off with Tony playing another colonnade and passing. Mac's gonna be looking for another explosive start to get things going in his direction. He's one win away from winning this FNM completely, and also taking out hard-hitting Cawblade in his wake. So we'll see if he can end up pulling this one off. A little bit of personal observation and opinion. Tony's mat right now. I think I need to find one of those. That is a very, very color contrasted mat. Probably one of my favorite artworks for mat artwork. I don't even know the card name. I really couldn't tell you. However, that picture is extremely, extremely pleasing. So Mac's going to lead off with a Marsh Flats, fetch up his Swamp, which, if you're looking at Signal, says he has enough planes in his hand. He's probably going to start off with a Vault Scourge at some point here. Yep. Was waiting for it. I mean, even if you can pick up signals for when your opponent's going to do something, even in that turn, it's really good to express when you're in a game and you know what your opponent's going to do. Even if they're tapping blue, like one blue, you have a feeling it's going to be Preordain or Gataxian Probe. It's probably going to be Preordain. So what it really comes down to is letting your opponent know before they play it that you know what they have. It can get into their head a little bit. Put them on edge when you're playing stuff. They might want to try and play around things so that you assume that they don't. So they assume that you have something different in their hand. A little bit of a mental edge if you can push that on people. Be very vocal when you're doing things. Don't obviously try and just put your opponent on tilt. I'm against that. But psychologically you have to be in that game just as much as you are playing your cards. It's very, very important. Especially at a higher level. The more you practice it, the better you get at it. So try and practice that out if you can with your friends, casually, if you want to become a more competitive player. It really helps you out at larger tournaments. So right now he's going to go into Vault Scourge, Memnite and Memnite. He's going to trade with the Vault Scourge right now and go up. He's going to play another Ornithopter, and that'll be that for right now. No signal past this game for him. But still, it was a pretty decent start for Game 2 for him, even without the signal pest or Steel Overseer. Although those are the two cards that you really want to see that get your guys pumping in for early damage. So he's going to forego playing a second Hawk immediately, go into that Preordain, and then find out that Stoneforge. Get his deck going on all cylinders, especially with the gas that he has in his hand, being the other three Hawks. He can trade profitably this entire game if he needs to be, to keep himself in there, because as soon as you get to that late game, Cawblade has a drastically better matchup against this deck. This deck hits earlier, it usually doesn't hit at all. It can go long games with Tezzeret, making stuff 5-5, but at that point you probably have other things that you want to do with it. He's going to dispatch that very key player right here, keeping that off. 3 goes in, no Tempered Steel. He doesn't really have any of his big key cards in this one so far, so it's a bit disappointing for Mac, but he's definitely not out of this yet, especially with that dispatch on that Stoneforge. But he has another Stoneforge, which is, in my opinion, a bit disheartening. Yeah, you need to tap the right mana there, Tony. Need to whiten that. There you go. aggressive decks against a control-oriented deck, as the control-oriented deck, you really want to trade early, trade often, keep yourself at positive or even advantage. You can trade life for advantage if you need to. Not every block is necessary at that time. Like, going in a next turn with those Mem Knights, you're obviously going to block with the Stoneforge if he doesn't have an answer for it. But you don't want to animate that Inkmoth Nexus unless you have to. You can go down to as low as like 4 life and still be able to break even. So he's going to play a Vault Scourge, and this is really rough right now for Mac as he drops another blue-white source. Tony's sitting with a full hand. 3 Hawks, Batter Skull, debating with that, what to do with it. And an Attorney can still flash in. No auto shuffle if he wanted to. He elects to no search. He's going to untap Mac. Mac's going to draw his card, hoping for some beats. It's a Tezzeret. Tezzeret and a land look to be the contents of his hand. Tezzeret doesn't do a whole lot here, especially when he's missing a blue to bring out the Tezzeret. Mac's just not hitting what he really needs right now. He's hitting a bunch of the little helpers, but none of the key components of his deck to actually get him over the top. I believe, though, if Mac ended up having any of those components, regardless of the fact if he had that dispatch or not, this game would probably have gone Mac's way. Even one Steel Overseer probably gets him there. And that's like the slower part of the combo for him. Turn 1, what did he lead off with? 2 Mem Knight and a Vault Scourge and a Ornithopter. 4 cards out of hand on the first turn. 5 if you count the land. That Signal Pass would have been absolutely huge, because you would have been able to play the Vault Scourge the turn after and just keep going in for 2, 4, 6, 8 damage. That Batter Skull is going to go in and put this out of reach at this point. Even if he drops the Tezzeret right now, he's still facing down a card, a 4/4 lifelink Vigilance creature, which he'll more than likely be happy trading. Mac shuffles up, thinking of his next play. I don't think he actually has one here. It's Tezzeret and something else. Signal Pass, which would have been nice on the first turn, as I had mentioned. But sometimes you just don't get that luck. And he's going to flash another Batter Skull and scoop it up. Well, Game 2 didn't go Mac's way. Ended up missing out on a lot of key components for his deck, but still put up a decent fighting shot early on, keeping him off that Stoneforge with that dispatch. Please comment and subscribe if you're not already subscribed to this channel. I'd love to have more subscriptions and be able to know that I'm getting this out to a lot more people. We love hearing from you guys, the vocal few. I'm actually going to have a list of all the people that actually, or I'll try to put one together, for all the ones that actually contribute to what we have here and are looking for the deck lists.